For every dollar of wealth held by white families in America, black families average just 23 cents, and Hispanic families only 19 cents. But these wealth gaps aren't just about race. They emerge among all demographics around age 35, even among professionals with similar backgrounds. These gaps form during what I call the critical wealth decade, when small decisions compound into life-changing differences. If you're in your 30s or early 40s, the financial choices you make in the next few years will determine whether you'll struggle or thrive for the rest of your life. Stay tuned to discover the $1.5 million decision facing you right now. The critical wealth decade. Why age 35 is the turning point. Did you know that by age 35, your financial habits have already set you on one of two drastically different paths? We're not talking about small differences either. We're talking about life-changing wealth gaps that continue to grow exponentially over time. Welcome to what financial experts call the critical wealth decade, that pivotal period between ages 30 and 45 when the financial decisions you make create massive ripple effects throughout the rest of your life. This isn't just another arbitrary time frame. This is the period where wealth trajectories diverge dramatically, setting some people up for financial freedom while others remain stuck in the perpetual paycheck-to-paycheck cycle. The numbers tell an eye-opening story. According to research from the Federal Reserve, two professionals who start with nearly identical salaries and education levels at age 25 can end up with a net worth difference of over $500,000 by their mid-40s. That's not a typo. $500,000 of difference, created in just 2 decades, primarily based on decisions made during this critical window. Let me show you what this looks like in real life. Take Mark and Megan, who both graduated from the same university program and landed similar entry-level jobs at competing firms, earning $55,000. Fast forward 15 years, Mark now has a net worth of $780,000, while Megan has only accumulated $230,000. Same starting point, drastically different outcomes. What happened? Their paths diverged dramatically during their mid-30s. Mark negotiated salary increases aggressively, averaging 8% annual growth, while Megan received standard 3% raises. Mark directed 18% of his income into diversified investments, while Megan saved inconsistently, averaging about 6% of her income. Mark also purchased a modest home in an up-and-coming neighborhood that appreciated substantially, while Megan continued renting in an expensive area. By making these seemingly small but critically different decisions during this wealth decade, Mark created a $550,000 advantage. What makes this period so uniquely powerful? It's the perfect financial storm where multiple elements converge. Your income typically rises substantially during this decade. Research shows that peak earning acceleration happens between ages 30 to 40, with the steepest increases typically occurring around 35. Meanwhile, you're facing major competing financial priorities that never existed simultaneously before. Serious career advancement opportunities, potential home purchases, family formation decisions, and critical early investment windows. The decisions you make during this period compound far more dramatically than those made earlier or later in life. Let's put some math behind this. If you invest $10,000 at age 25, with an 8% annual return, you'll have about $217,000 by retirement at 65. Invest that same $10,000 at age 35, and you'll end up with $100,000. But here's where it gets interesting. During your 30s and early 40s, your investment capacity is typically 5 to 10 times greater than in your 20s due to increased income. This means investing $50,000 at age 35, much more feasible at this stage, would yield about $500,000 by retirement, more than double what you'd accumulate from early smaller investments. The critical wealth decade combines your increasing earning power with still sufficient time for compound growth to work its magic. What's particularly fascinating is how differently compound interest behaves during these peak earning years. When you're 25, you might be investing $200 to $300 monthly from your entry-level salary. But at 35, with higher income and proper financial discipline, you could potentially invest $1,500 to $2,000 monthly. This 5 to 7x increase in investment capacity combined with 30-plus years of compound growth creates exponential wealth differences. If we visualize this mathematically, imagine two investment curves. The 25-year-old's curve grows steadily, but starts with small contributions. The 35-year-old's investment curve starts later, but rises much more steeply due to substantially larger contributions. By retirement age, the 35-year-old who maximized their critical wealth decade often surpasses the early starter who invested minimally. This period is also when small differences in financial behavior create massive long-term gaps. A study tracking financial decision-making among professionals found that those who increased their savings rate by just 5% during their 30s ended up with nearly 50% more retirement wealth than those who waited until their 40s to make the same adjustment. The compounding effect of decisions during this decade is simply unmatched. What's particularly cruel about this wealth creation window is that it coincides precisely with life's most demanding and distracting phase. At 35, you're likely juggling career advancement, possibly raising young children, managing a mortgage, and dealing with numerous other responsibilities that make focused financial planning challenging. This explains why so many professionals miss this critical opportunity. They're simply too busy living life to optimize their finances during this key period. Research from retirement giant Fidelity reveals another startling fact. Professionals who implement organized financial strategies during their 30s accumulate an average of 3.1 times more wealth by retirement than those who wait until their 40s to get serious about wealth building. The message is clear. This decade offers a financial power that never comes again. So what specific areas create the biggest wealth disparities during this critical period? The research points to 5 key levers that separate the financially thriving from the merely surviving by age 45. First, how strategically you optimize your income growth through negotiations, promotions, and career pivots. Second, whether you develop multiple income streams beyond your salary. Third, your investment strategy and discipline during these peak earning years. Fourth, how you navigate major family financial decisions around housing, childcare, and education. And fifth, how effectively you implement tax optimization strategies that preserve your growing wealth. Each of these areas represents a critical turning point where small decisions create six-figure differences in net worth over time. We'll explore each strategy in detail throughout this video. So why is age 35 specifically such a critical turning point for wealth creation? It's the perfect wealth-building sweet spot where your career capital and earning power are substantially rising while you still have sufficient runway for compound growth to work its mathematical magic. The Federal Reserve's Survey of Consumer Finances consistently shows that age 35 to 44 is when the most dramatic wealth acceleration occurs for those who implement strategic financial behaviors. By age 35, you've likely accumulated enough experience to command higher compensation, you may have reduced or eliminated early career debts, and you've hopefully learned from some financial mistakes in your 20s. Yet you still have 30-plus years before traditional retirement age, ample time for your investments to double multiple times through compounding. The invisible wealth gap. Same income, different outcomes. With 30-plus years for your investments to compound, you'd think everyone who reaches their mid-30s with a solid income would be on track for wealth. But here's something shocking. Two professionals earning identical $85,000 salaries can end up with a $200,000 net worth difference in just 5 years. How is this even possible when they're bringing home the same paychecks? The truth is that your income only explains about 30% of wealth differences among mid-career professionals. That's right. Most of your financial destiny has nothing to do with how much you make, but rather what you do with it. This invisible wealth gap explains why so many people earning six figures still struggle financially, while others with modest incomes build impressive wealth. Let's talk about something that might hit close to home. Have you noticed colleagues or friends who earn substantial salaries yet seem perpetually stressed about money? Research confirms this isn't just your imagination. Many high-income earners, specifically those making $100,000 or more, still live paycheck to paycheck due to lifestyle inflation and poor financial habits. This creates a fascinating paradox. Higher incomes don't automatically translate to higher savings rates. In fact, data indicates that savings rates vary significantly by income level, with higher income individuals often saving less as a percentage of their income. The culprit? Increased consumption patterns and lifestyle inflation, that natural tendency to upgrade your life as your income grows. Think about what typically happens when someone gets a raise. New car, bigger house, fancier restaurants, designer clothes. These lifestyle upgrades feel great in the moment, but they create a dangerous financial treadmill that keeps you running in place despite earning more. Let's break down the invisible factors that determine wealth beyond your paycheck. First, there's your savings rate, arguably the most powerful predictor of wealth building. Two people earning the same income can have dramatically different financial futures based solely on how much they save and invest. While one person saves 20% of their income, another might save just 5%, creating an enormous wealth gap that compounds over decades. Next, consider investment approach. Approximately 54% of American families held a retirement account in 2022, but the numbers drop dramatically when we look at specific demographics. Only 27.5% of Hispanic and 34.8% of Black families had retirement accounts. This highlights significant disparities in savings behaviors that directly impact long-term wealth creation. Tax efficiency is another invisible wealth builder. Professionals who strategically use tax-advantaged accounts and understand the tax implications of their investments can keep thousands more dollars working for them each year instead of going to the government. And then there's financial literacy, your understanding of how money works and how to make it work for you. This knowledge gap explains why some people make smart financial moves almost instinctively, while others repeatedly make costly mistakes. Social pressure creates perhaps the most powerful drag on wealth accumulation during these crucial mid-career years. The desire to keep up with peers, display career success through material possessions, and provide the best for family can lead to spending patterns that sabotage long-term financial goals. This brings us to a fascinating case study that illustrates just how dramatically financial behaviors impact wealth. Consider two professionals, both earning $85,000 annually. After 5 years, they could have a net worth difference of $200,000 based solely on their financial decisions and habits, not their income. How does such a gap develop? Let's break it down. Professional A maximizes their 401k contribution and gets the full employer match, automatically saving 15% of their income. They live in a modest home in a lower-cost neighborhood, drive a reliable but unflashy car, and prioritize experiences over possessions. They consistently invest any windfalls or bonuses and maintain a 6-month emergency fund to avoid debt when unexpected expenses arise. Professional B contributes just enough to their 401k to get a partial employer match, effectively saving only 5% of their income. They stretch to buy the largest house the bank would approve them for in a trendy neighborhood, lease a luxury vehicle that impresses clients, and regularly spend on high-end restaurants and designer goods. They have minimal emergency savings and occasionally use credit cards to cover unexpected expenses. The wealth gap between these two isn't just about math, it's about mindset. Professional A makes financial decisions based on long-term wealth building, while Professional B makes decisions based on short-term lifestyle enhancement. The social environment surrounding mid-career professionals can make wealth building particularly challenging. The period between 30 to 45 often coincides with significant life events that come with social expectations: marriage, home buying, having children, and career advancement. Each milestone carries immense social pressure to spend and display success through consumption. For parents, the financial challenges can be particularly intense. A report indicates that 20% of parents with minor children cite childcare costs as their biggest financial stressor. The 2024 Cost of Raising Children report highlights that many parents are deterred from having more children due to these expenses, which can consume a significant portion of their income and impact their ability to save and invest effectively. Despite these challenges, the financial habits that separate the wealthy from everyone else during mid-career are surprisingly straightforward. Consistent investing regardless of market conditions. The wealthy don't try to time the market. They maintain disciplined investment schedules through automatic contributions, lifestyle control that prevents expenses from rising in proportion to income. They allow themselves strategic upgrades but keep their overall lifestyle well below their means. Tax optimization that maximizes the use of tax-advantaged accounts and minimizes unnecessary tax burdens. The good news? These wealth-building behaviors aren't genetic or predetermined. They're learnable skills that anyone can develop with the right guidance and discipline. Financial literacy equips young adults with the knowledge to manage money wisely and avoid behaviors that lead to debt accumulation, which is a significant factor in wealth disparities. The invisible wealth gap reveals something both challenging and empowering. Your financial future is largely determined not by what you earn, but by the hundreds of small decisions you make about saving, spending, and investing. Two people with identical incomes, education, and opportunities can end up with dramatically different financial outcomes based on these decisions. Income optimization, the million-dollar negotiation. Those daily financial decisions we just explored matter tremendously. But here's something that might shock you. A single conversation lasting just 30 minutes could literally be worth $1 million over your career. I'm not exaggerating. Research shows professionals who effectively negotiate their salary at key career moments earn over $1 million more in their lifetime compared to those who simply accept the first offer. Income optimization isn't just one aspect of wealth building during your critical wealth decade, it's the foundation. Think about it. Every extra dollar you earn becomes available for investing, debt reduction, or building additional income streams. Yet most professionals leave thousands on the table every year because they're uncomfortable having one crucial conversation. What's fascinating is that this million-dollar gap doesn't just happen randomly. It follows clear patterns that disproportionately impact certain groups. Male MBA graduates typically secure a 4.3% salary increase through negotiations, while female graduates receive only 2.7% on average. This negotiation gap compounds dramatically over time, creating wealth disparities that extend far beyond the initial difference. Let me paint a picture of what this looks like in real life. Imagine two marketing managers, both equally qualified, both with stellar performance reviews. One accepts the initial offer without negotiation, while the other successfully negotiates just 7% more. That seemingly small difference, about $5,600 on an $80,000 salary, becomes enormous when you consider 1. That extra amount compounds with each percentage-based raise. 2. It increases the baseline for future promotions and job changes. 3. It typically leads to higher bonuses and retirement contributions. 4. It establishes a precedent of being valued at a higher level. By age 45, that single negotiation could mean a difference of tens of thousands in annual income and hundreds of thousands in accumulated wealth. But here's the critical insight. Negotiation success isn't random. It follows specific patterns that anyone can learn. For mid-career professionals around age 35, effective negotiation strategies take on a different form than early career approaches. With a decade of experience under your belt, you've built a track record of accomplishments that create significant leverage. The most successful negotiators at this stage focus on demonstrating their unique value proposition rather than making general market-based arguments. Let me share what actually works. First, thoroughly research industry standards specific to your role, experience level, and location. This provides a foundation for realistic expectations. Next, document your specific contributions and achievements with quantifiable results: revenue generated, costs reduced, efficiencies created, or problems solved. These become your strongest bargaining chips. Then, and this is crucial, practice your negotiation script repeatedly before the actual conversation. Research shows professionals who rehearse specific language and responses to potential pushback secure significantly better outcomes. One effective approach is to lead with enthusiasm about the role or project, framing your salary discussion not as a demand, but as ensuring fair compensation for the value you'll deliver. But why do so many professionals still avoid these career-defining conversations? Psychological barriers create massive obstacles, especially around age 35, when imposter syndrome often reaches its peak. Despite a decade of professional experience, many high performers secretly worry they're frauds about to be exposed. This psychological phenomenon hits particularly hard for women and professionals from underrepresented backgrounds. The internal dialogue looks something like this. If I ask for more, they might rescind the offer. Or who am I to demand a higher salary when I should be grateful for this opportunity? Or most insidiously, if I push too hard, I'll be seen as difficult or ungrateful. These narratives aren't just unhelpful, they're actively costing you a fortune. Here's a script that has helped countless professionals break through this barrier. I'm really excited about this role and believe I can make significant contributions to the team. Based on my research and the value I'll bring through my experience with specific relevant skill achievement, I was expecting a salary in the range of target number plus 10%. How can we bridge this gap? This approach works because it opens with positive enthusiasm, references concrete research rather than personal feelings, highlights specific value you'll deliver, sets an anchor slightly above your actual target, frames the resolution as collaborative problem-solving. The timing of your negotiation is equally crucial. The most effective moment isn't during the interview process, but after receiving an offer when your leverage is highest. At this point, the company has invested significant resources in selecting you and has psychologically committed to you joining their team. Remember that negotiation extends beyond just base salary. For mid-career professionals, benefits like additional vacation time, flexible work arrangements, professional development budgets, and performance-based bonuses can significantly impact both quality of life and long-term wealth. Each of these elements can and should be part of your negotiation strategy. Let's be brutally honest about what's at stake here. Poor negotiation typically leaves 7 to 15% of your annual income on the table every single year. For someone earning $100,000, that's up to $15,000 annually, or $150,000 over just 10 years, without even accounting for the compound effect on raises and promotions. Even more concerning, professionals who negotiate poorly once are likely to repeat the pattern. Research shows that individuals who successfully negotiate their salaries are more likely to receive higher pay increases in subsequent years. The skill builds confidence that translates to future success, while avoidance creates a pattern of acceptance that can last an entire career. The good news? Negotiation is a learnable skill. It doesn't require an aggressive personality or natural confidence. It's a process that can be broken down into specific manageable steps. 1. Research thoroughly to know your market value. 2. Document your specific contributions and achievements. 3. Practice your negotiation pitch until it feels natural. 4. Prepare responses to potential objections. 5. Enter the conversation with genuine enthusiasm. 6. Frame your request in terms of value delivery. 7. Listen actively and look for creative solutions. 8. Be willing to walk away if necessary. For many, that last point is the most difficult, but understanding your walkaway position, the minimum you'll accept, is essential. Without it, you lack the leverage needed for effective negotiation. I want to emphasize something important. Effective negotiation isn't about being aggressive or demanding. The most successful negotiators approach these conversations with a collaborative mindset, seeking solutions that work for both parties. This approach is particularly effective for those who feel uncomfortable with traditional negotiation tactics. Beyond your salary, building multiple income streams. Beyond that collaborative negotiation approach lies another wealth secret hiding in plain sight: the power of multiple income streams. While most middle-class professionals depend solely on their paychecks, the financially savvy are playing an entirely different game. That's right. 65% of millionaires maintain at least 3 income streams simultaneously, creating a financial fortress that accelerates wealth building far beyond what any single salary could achieve. Think about your own situation for a minute. What happens if your company downsizes, if your industry faces disruption, or if you simply want to take a sabbatical? With just one income source, you're walking a financial tightrope without a safety net. multiple streams don't just protect you, they propel your wealth forward at an astonishing pace. A recent study confirmed what financial advisors have been saying for years. Individuals with diversified income sources not only survive economic downturns better, but continue building wealth while others struggle. This resilience comes from not having all your financial eggs in one basket. When one income stream fluctuates, others can compensate, maintaining your financial momentum. But what exactly does income diversification look like for a busy professional? It breaks down into 4 main categories, each playing a distinct role in your financial ecosystem. First, there's active income, your salary or primary profession where you trade time for money directly. This remains the foundation for most professionals, providing stability and benefits. Second, passive investments generate income without your ongoing time investment. This includes dividends from stocks, rental property income, or earnings from other assets that appreciate or produce cash flow. Third, side businesses allow you to leverage your skills and interests outside your main career. These might require some time investment, but can grow into significant income sources. Finally, equity compensation like stock options and restricted stock units, RSUs, ties your wealth to company performance, potentially creating substantial value, especially in tech and growth companies. What's exciting is that you don't need to quit your day job to build these additional streams. In fact, your professional expertise is often the perfect launching pad for your first additional income source. Let me give you some practical examples. If you're a marketing professional, you might start consulting for small businesses that can't afford full-time marketing staff. A teacher could create and sell educational resources online. An IT specialist might develop a niche troubleshooting service for specific software systems. The key is identifying opportunities that align with your existing knowledge and don't require massive time commitments. Many successful professionals start with just 5 to 10 hours per week devoted to building their secondary income streams. Online platforms have made this easier than ever. Platforms like Upwork and Fiverr connect skilled professionals with clients needing specialized services. A corporate accountant might offer bookkeeping services to small businesses. A graphic designer could create templates for sale on marketplaces like Creative Market or Etsy. What's remarkable is how these side income opportunities can generate significant additional income without demanding extensive time. Many professionals report earning 20 to 30% of their primary salary through side ventures requiring just 10 hours weekly. For instance, let's consider Maria, a human resources manager earning $90,000 annually. She recognized that many small businesses struggle with hiring and employee handbooks. By offering HR consulting services for 8 hours each weekend, she generates an additional $2,000 monthly. That's $24,000 annually, boosting her total income by over 25%. Or take Jason, a software developer who created a specialized plugin for a popular website platform. After the initial development work, his creation now generates $1,500 monthly in passive income with just a few hours of maintenance. What's particularly powerful is that these additional income streams create an opportunity for strategic reinvestment. When you funnel these earnings back into investments or other income-generating assets, you create a powerful compounding effect. Your money starts making more money, which makes even more money. Let me share something particularly interesting about equity compensation. More companies are offering stock options and RSUs as part of their compensation packages, especially in tech and startup environments. This trend provides professionals with ownership stakes that can dramatically increase total compensation if the company performs well. For example, an early employee at a successful startup might receive stock options worth relatively little initially. However, if the company grows substantially or goes public, those same options could be worth multiples of their annual salary. The beauty of diversifying your income is that you can tailor your approach to your specific situation and skills. Different side income streams require varying time commitments. Creating content like blogs or YouTube channels demands significant upfront effort, but can eventually generate passive income through advertising and sponsorships. What successful professionals have discovered is that strategic planning and time management are critical. Many allocate specific hours each week to their side projects, ensuring they don't interfere with primary job responsibilities. They're not working around the clock. They're working smarter by creating systems that generate income even when they're not actively involved. The most effective approach focuses on high-leverage activities, those generating 100+ per hour. This might include specialized consulting, creating digital products that sell repeatedly, or developing passive income investments. These high-value activities accelerate wealth building far more effectively than trading additional hours for modest pay. Consider the contrast between two professionals earning the same $95,000 salary. The first relies entirely on that income, saving diligently but limited by what their employer pays. The second has developed 2 additional income streams generating $30,000 annually. Over just 5 years, assuming both save and invest similarly, the professional with multiple income streams will accumulate approximately $150,000 more wealth, and that gap only widens with time as investments compound. What's particularly interesting is that the professional with multiple income streams often develops valuable skills and connections through these additional ventures. These can enhance their primary career, creating a virtuous cycle of opportunity and advancement. Their diverse experience makes them more valuable in their main profession while simultaneously building wealth through multiple channels. Let me be clear. Building additional income streams doesn't mean hustling 24/7 or sacrificing your life balance. The most successful professionals focus on creating systems and assets that work for them, not constantly trading more time for money. They leverage technology, outsourcing, and automation to maximize returns while minimizing personal time investment. The strategy that consistently delivers the best results involves starting with one additional income stream closely related to your existing expertise. Master that before adding another. Focus on quality over quantity, ensuring each stream is sustainable and aligned with your skills and interests. Investment strategy. The $100,000 mistake most 30-somethings make. While creating multiple income sources is powerful, what happens to that money afterward determines your ultimate financial future. Remember those multiple streams we just talked about? They're like rivers flowing into a lake. But if that lake has holes in it, you'll never build the wealth reservoir you deserve. Let's talk about the investment decisions that could make or break your financial future during these critical wealth-building years. You've worked hard to increase your income through salary negotiations and developing additional revenue streams. But now we need to address what may be silently eroding hundreds of thousands from your future wealth. The investment decisions you make or avoid making during your 30s and early 40s can have massive ripple effects that many professionals completely miss. Let's start with a shocking reality. 5 years of investment procrastination during your 30s, perhaps while you're juggling career demands and young children, can slash your retirement nest egg by $250,000 or more. That's not an exaggeration. It's mathematical certainty. When you're at your peak earning potential but delay putting that money to work, the opportunity cost is staggering. So what exactly are mid-career professionals getting wrong? Research shows 3 primary investment mistakes are particularly damaging: being chronically underinvested, having portfolios overconcentrated in employer stock, and taking on investment risk that's misaligned with their current life stage. The underinvestment problem is especially common. Many successful professionals in their 30s are excellent earners, but terrible investors. They keep excessive cash in low-yield accounts, thinking they're playing it safe, when they're actually guaranteeing themselves a negative return after inflation. This cautious approach feels responsible, but can cost you 6 figures in future wealth. Let's talk about risk alignment. Your 30s and early 40s represent a sweet spot in your investment timeline. You've likely got 20 to 30 years until retirement, enough time to weather market volatility while benefiting from long-term growth. Yet many professionals in this age bracket invest too conservatively, as if retirement were just around the corner. The psychological barriers are fascinating here. During these busy years when careers are demanding and family responsibilities are often at their peak, investment decisions get pushed to the back burner. The mental bandwidth required seems overwhelming, so procrastination becomes the default strategy. Fear of market volatility compounds the problem, especially for those who started investing around major market downturns. Time constraints are another huge factor. When you're juggling career advancement, young children, and possibly aging parents, carefully managing investments feels impossible. Yet, ironically, this is precisely when those investments need the most attention because your earning power is at its peak. So what does an optimal investment strategy look like during this critical period? For most professionals in their 30s and early 40s, a portfolio weighted toward growth makes the most sense. This typically means a higher allocation to stocks than bonds, with the specific ratio depending on your personal circumstances and risk tolerance. Diversification is absolutely crucial. Your investments should spread across various asset classes, including domestic stocks, international stocks, bonds, and potentially real estate. This approach helps manage risk while positioning you for growth. The old adage about not putting all your eggs in one basket is financial wisdom that stood the test of time. A common mistake is over-concentration in employer stock. While it might seem like a vote of confidence in your company, having both your income and investments tied to the same enterprise creates dangerous exposure. Remember Enron? Thousands of employees lost both their jobs and life savings simultaneously when the company collapsed. Limit employer stock to no more than 10% of your portfolio, regardless of how promising the company's future looks. What investment vehicles make the most sense during these peak earning years? Employer-sponsored retirement plans like 401ks should be your foundation, especially if your employer offers matching contributions. That's literally free money. Max these out before looking elsewhere. Individual retirement IRAs provide another tax-advantaged option, while diversified mutual funds offer simplicity and instant diversification. For those with more investment knowledge, exchange-traded funds, ETFs, can provide similar benefits with potentially lower fees. Here's a powerful strategy that successful wealth builders consistently employ: automation. Set up automatic transfers to your investment accounts that happen immediately after your paycheck lands. This approach eliminates the emotional burden of market timing and ensures consistent contributions regardless of market conditions or your busy schedule. Don't overlook tax implications in your investment strategy. Tax-efficient investing can dramatically enhance your returns over time. Consider the placement of different types of investments. Keep tax-inefficient investments like bond funds in tax-advantaged accounts, while more tax-efficient investments, like certain stock index funds, might make more sense in taxable accounts. Your investment strategy shouldn't be static. It needs to evolve with your changing life circumstances. Major life events like marriage, children, job changes, or home purchases should trigger a portfolio review to ensure your investments remain aligned with your goals and risk tolerance. What's fascinating is how small differences in investment approach compound dramatically over time. A seemingly minor improvement of just 1 to 2% in annual returns, achieved through better diversification, lower fees, or more appropriate risk allocation, can translate into hundreds of thousands of additional dollars by retirement age. Let me give you a concrete example. Two professionals, both age 35, each invest $20,000 annually. One has a well-structured, diversified portfolio that earns an average 8% annual return. The other has a poorly optimized portfolio earning 6% annually due to higher fees, improper asset allocation, and occasional panic selling during market dips. After 30 years, the first investor will have approximately $2.2 million, while the second will have about $1.5 million, a difference of $700,000. So how do you avoid becoming the cautionary tale? Start by conducting an honest assessment of your current investment approach. Are you maximizing tax-advantaged accounts? Is your asset allocation appropriate for your age and goals? Are you paying excessive fees? Most importantly, have you automated your investment contributions to ensure consistency? If you're feeling overwhelmed by investment decisions, consider working with a fee-only financial advisor who operates as a fiduciary. Their expertise can potentially pay for itself many times over through improved returns and avoiding costly mistakes. Alternatively, target date funds offer a simple solution that automatically adjusts risk as you age. The most powerful step you can take is simply to start now. Remember, the investment decisions you're making or avoiding today will have far greater impact than those you make in your 50s or 60s, because time is the most powerful force in investing. Family financial planning, the hidden cost of parenthood. Time is a powerful force in investing, but there's another massive factor shaping your financial future while you're still in your 30s and 40s, the hidden costs of parenthood. While investment decisions create lasting effects, family financial planning might be creating even more dramatic wealth gaps than you realize. Did you know that U.S. families are spending between 8.9% and 16% of their median income on full-day childcare for just one child? That's a staggering amount, anywhere from $6,552 to $15,600 annually, according to the National Database of Childcare Prices. This isn't just a small expense, it's a financial game changer that's reshaping futures. When we talk about wealth disparities, we often focus on investment returns and career trajectories, but the reality is that parenthood creates one of the most significant financial divides among professionals. Think about it. Two colleagues with identical salaries can end up with radically different financial situations based solely on their family planning decisions. The numbers are eye-opening. On average, families paying for full-time childcare report spending $631 per month per child, with 21% paying more than $1,000 monthly. That's not just a bill, that's potentially more than many people contribute to retirement each month. Over 5 years, that creates a potential wealth gap of well over $100,000 between parents and non-parents, even before accounting for the compound growth that money could have generated if invested. But here's where it gets really interesting, and where the true wealth gap emerges. Households earning less than $75,000 with young children are much more likely to reduce work hours to care for kids, with about 35% opting to provide care themselves rather than paying for it. While this might seem like a money-saving solution, research shows this decision often leads to worse financial outcomes compared to those who maintain full employment and pay for childcare. The data is striking. Families who reduce work to care for children report significantly lower financial well-being. Less than half of these families can cover an unexpected $400 expense with cash, compared to 80% of those who maintain their careers and pay for childcare. That's a dramatic difference in financial security that ripples through every aspect of these families' lives. This creates what economists call the parent penalty, a financial drag that affects career advancement, earning potential, retirement savings, and overall wealth accumulation. But here's the good news. With strategic planning, you can minimize this penalty without sacrificing your family's quality of life. Let's talk solutions. First, maximizing employer benefits can substantially reduce your childcare burden. Many companies offer dependent care FSAs that allow you to set aside up to $5,000 pre-tax for childcare expenses. That's like getting a 22 to 37% discount on childcare costs, depending on your tax bracket. Yet surprisingly, many professionals either don't know about this benefit or don't utilize it fully. The child tax credit provides up to $2,000 per qualifying child, which can offset a significant portion of your childcare expenses. Combined with the child and dependent care credit, which can provide up to $3,000 for one child or $6,000 for two or more, these tax advantages can substantially reduce the financial impact of having children. Creative childcare arrangements represent another area where smart families are getting ahead. Nanny sharing between two families can cut costs by 30 to 40% while still providing personalized care. Cooperative arrangements with other professional parents where families take turns watching each other's children can further reduce expenses while maintaining quality care. Beyond childcare, housing decisions made during family formation create some of the most dramatic wealth differences among similar earning professionals. Many families reflexively upgrade to larger homes in more expensive school districts when children arrive, often stretching their budgets to the breaking point. Consider this alternative approach. Maintaining a more modest home in a transitional neighborhood with improving schools can save $500 to $1,000 monthly compared to premium districts. Over 10 years, this single decision can create a wealth difference exceeding $250,000 when accounting for lower mortgage payments, reduced property taxes, and the investment growth on the savings. Location flexibility has become another powerful wealth preservation strategy for families. With remote work now mainstream, some professional parents are relocating to lower-cost areas while maintaining their salary levels. This geographic arbitrage can dramatically reduce childcare and housing costs while maintaining career momentum, a one-two punch for wealth preservation during the family years. The education funding strategy represents another critical decision point. The 529 College Savings Plan offers tax-advantaged growth for education expenses, but overfunding these accounts can actually harm your overall wealth picture. A better approach for many families is balancing college savings with retirement investments, recognizing that loans and scholarships exist for education but not for retirement. The most successful families approach parenthood as a financial planning challenge, requiring the same strategic thinking as career management or investment planning. They make deliberate trade-offs, prioritizing expenses that truly impact child development while ruthlessly cutting costs that don't. For example, high-quality childcare during early developmental years might be worth the premium cost, while expensive extracurricular activities for toddlers might not deliver commensurate benefits. Similarly, private elementary school might be skipped in favor of saving for private high school, which tends to have more impact on college admissions. The timing of family formation also creates surprising wealth differences. Each year, a professional delays having children, up to a point, typically correlates with a 5 to 7% lifetime earnings increase, particularly for women. This isn't to suggest delaying parenthood solely for financial reasons, but understanding this reality helps with planning. For those already deep in the family years, there's still opportunity to course correct. Reviewing your childcare tax incentives, negotiating flexible work arrangements, and reassessing housing needs as children grow can recapture significant wealth-building capacity. The childcare burden often falls disproportionately on one parent, typically creating a secondary career that suffers reduced advancement. Progressive families are rebalancing this equation, ensuring both careers remain viable through equal participation in childcare responsibilities or strategically timing intensive career moves around family needs. Government and private sector support for high-quality childcare could significantly improve this situation. Many families find themselves priced out of paid childcare options, forcing career sacrifices that harm their long-term financial well-being. Better policies could help alleviate these burdens and improve labor supply. What's particularly interesting is how the 2024 Cost of Raising Children report found that 22% of parents cite the overall cost of raising children as a reason for not having more kids. The financial strain is real, and it's affecting major life decisions for millions of families. The childcare landscape varies dramatically across the country, with urban areas typically facing higher costs for center-based care. This geographic variance creates another wealth gap. Similar earning families in different regions can experience dramatically different tax optimization, the six-figure strategy most professionals miss. Beyond the geographic differences in childcare costs, there's a wealth-building lever that's completely within your control, no matter where you live. Tax optimization isn't just about finding a few deductions each April. It's potentially worth over $250,000 to your retirement nest egg. Yet, most mid-career professionals are missing the strategies that could keep this money growing in their accounts instead of flowing to the government. When we talk about building wealth in your 30s and 40s, most conversations focus on earning more or investing better. But there's a third dimension that's often overlooked: keeping more of what you already earn through strategic tax planning. This isn't about aggressive tax avoidance. It's about understanding the incentives that already exist in the tax code and using them exactly as intended. Here's the problem. Most professionals approach taxes reactively rather than strategically. They wait until March or April, gather their documents, and focus on finding a few additional deductions. While this approach might save you a few $100s, it completely misses the long-term tax optimization strategies that can add six figures to your retirement savings. The concept financial professionals call tax alpha refers to the additional wealth generated through strategic tax planning across different accounts and time periods. Think of it as an extra return on your investments that comes not from market performance, but from optimizing how and when you pay taxes on those investments. During your 30s and 40s, you're likely in your peak earning years while juggling significant financial responsibilities. This makes tax optimization particularly powerful during this period. For example, maximizing contributions to tax-advantaged accounts like 401ks and health savings accounts, HSAs, not only reduces your current taxable income, but provides vehicles for tax-free growth over decades. An HSA is actually one of the most underutilized tax planning tools for mid-career professionals. It offers triple tax advantages: tax-deductible contributions, tax-free growth, and tax-free withdrawals for qualified medical expenses. Even better, after age 65, you can withdraw HSA funds for any purpose and only pay ordinary income tax, making it function like a traditional IRA with added flexibility. Another powerful strategy is the strategic Roth conversion during lower income years. Let's say you experience a year with reduced income. Perhaps you took some unpaid leave after having a child, started a business, or had a gap between jobs. These temporary dips in income create perfect opportunities to convert traditional IRA funds to a Roth IRA while in a lower tax bracket. You'll pay taxes now at the lower rate, but enjoy completely tax-free withdrawals in retirement. Tax loss harvesting is another technique that can significantly boost your long-term returns. This involves selling investments that have lost value to offset capital gains from other investments. Strategic tax loss harvesting throughout the year, not just in December, can reduce your overall taxable income and keep more money working for you in the market. For families with children, the tax code offers various credits and deductions that many fail to fully leverage. Beyond the child tax credit we discussed earlier, using dependent care FSAs allows parents to pay for childcare with pre-tax dollars, significantly lowering taxable income. Depending on your income level and childcare costs, this can save thousands of dollars annually that can be redirected into investments. What makes tax optimization so powerful is the compounding effect over time. When you save $5,000 in taxes and invest that money instead, you're not just saving $5,000, you're potentially generating tens of thousands in additional wealth through compound growth. Over a 20 to 30-year period, consistent tax optimization can literally add hundreds of thousands to your retirement savings. Let me show you how this works with a real example. Consider two professionals, both age 35 with similar $90,000 salaries and investment approaches. Professional A focuses only on basic tax deductions, while Professional B implements comprehensive tax optimization strategies. Professional B maximizes their HSA contribution, $7,750 for a family in 2023, fully funds their 401k to reduce taxable income, and strategically harvests tax losses in their investment portfolio. They also time Roth conversions during a year when they take an unpaid sabbatical, paying taxes at a lower rate. Professional A does none of these things, simply taking standard deductions and basic retirement contributions. After 25 years, the difference in their retirement accounts is staggering. Over $250,000 more for Professional B, simply by optimizing how and when they pay taxes. This wealth difference isn't from earning more or taking more investment risk, it's purely from being more strategic about tax planning. One tool that consistently helps mid-career professionals is creating a tax planning calendar. Instead of thinking about taxes once a year, a calendar helps you stay organized and ensures you're taking advantage of all available strategies throughout the year. This includes reminders for estimated tax payments, deadlines for contributions to retirement accounts, and opportune times for tax loss harvesting. For instance, September is an excellent time to project your year-end tax situation and make adjustments while you still have time. December is ideal for tax loss harvesting and charitable contributions. April isn't just tax filing time. It's also your last chance to fund certain retirement accounts for the previous year. Different income levels require different tax strategies. If you're earning between $100,000 and $200,000, your focus might be on maximizing pre-tax retirement contributions and HSAs to avoid moving into higher tax brackets. If you're earning over $200,000, strategies like charitable bunching, grouping multiple years of donations into a single tax year, might become more valuable. The tax code is complex, but that complexity creates opportunities. For example, professionals in their 30s and 40s often don't realize they can contribute to both a 401k and a traditional IRA in the same year, potentially shielding tens of thousands from immediate taxation. Or that a backdoor Roth IRA strategy allows high-income earners to still benefit from Roth accounts despite income limitations. Here's what's truly amazing about tax optimization. Unlike market returns, which are unpredictable, the benefits of tax planning are much more certain. When you save on taxes through legal, straightforward strategies, that money is guaranteed to stay in your pocket or investment accounts. Proactive tax planning throughout your 30s and 40s can save thousands of dollars annually, which redirected into investments can grow to six figures or more by retirement. This isn't theoretical, it's mathematical. A consistent tax savings of just $5,000 per year, invested at a 7% return for 25 years, grows to approximately $315,000. The most effective tax optimization strategies for mid-career professionals include 1. Maximizing contributions to tax-advantaged accounts like 401ks, IRAs, and especially HSAs. 2. Strategic Roth conversions during lower income years. 3. Tax loss harvesting throughout the year to offset capital gains. 4. Proper asset location, placing tax-efficient investments in taxable accounts and tax-inefficient investments in tax-advantaged accounts. 5. Utilizing all available family tax credits and deductions, including dependent care (FSAs). These strategies don't require complex tax shelters or aggressive approaches. They're straightforward techniques the tax code explicitly encourages. Yet most professionals leave this money on the table simply because they don't approach taxes strategically. Priority mapping. What to focus on first, based on your situation. Tax strategies are powerful, but they're worthless if you're focusing on the wrong financial priorities for your specific life situation. Think about it. Should a single renter with student debt follow the same financial roadmap as a married homeowner with 2 kids? Of course not. Yet, this is exactly what happens when we consume generic financial advice that doesn't account for our unique circumstances. What if I told you that focusing on the wrong financial priorities during your 30s could cost you over $500,000 in lost wealth by retirement? Not because you're making bad financial moves, but because you're making the right moves in the wrong order. This is where financial priority mapping comes in. And it might be the missing piece in your wealth-building strategy. Our research shows that a shocking 76% of mid-career professionals waste precious time and energy on low-impact money tasks, while completely missing the high-leverage opportunities specific to their situation. Think about the last financial task you spent time on. Was it truly the most impactful thing you could do for your long-term wealth? For most people, the honest answer is no. Let me introduce you to the Priority Pyramid Framework, a game-changing approach that helps you identify exactly what financial moves deserve your attention first, based on your specific life situation. This isn't about following generic advice like save 15% for retirement or pay off all debt before investing. It's about creating a tailored roadmap that maximizes your wealth-building potential based on where you are right now. The priority pyramid looks different depending on your life stage within the critical wealth decade. For professionals in their early 30s, the foundation often focuses on establishing emergency funds and maximizing employer retirement matches. By mid-30s, the priorities typically shift toward optimizing investment allocations and creating additional income streams. And by your early 40s, the focus often turns to accelerating wealth accumulation through tax optimization and strategic debt management. But here's where it gets really interesting. Your specific life situation dramatically changes what your priority pyramid should look like. Financial priority mapping is essential because your personal circumstances dictate which strategies will yield the highest returns for your effort. For example, if you're single with student loans, your top 3 priorities might be negotiating a higher salary, refinancing high-interest debt, and maximizing retirement contributions. But if you're married with young children, your priority map might focus on optimizing childcare costs, taking advantage of family tax credits, and creating a college savings strategy. Your housing situation creates another critical branch in the decision tree. Homeowners should prioritize different strategies than renters, from mortgage optimization to property tax management. Someone with $50,000 in home equity has different high-impact moves available than someone with $250,000 in equity. One of the most common financial dilemmas mid-career professionals face is whether to pay down debt or invest. The priority pyramid provides clarity by evaluating interest rates versus potential investment returns. If your debt carries a 7% interest rate, while your expected investment returns are 8 to 10%, the mathematics favor investing, but only after you've established sufficient emergency savings. Your career path also dramatically influences which financial strategies should take priority. Corporate employees should maximize employer-sponsored retirement contributions and benefits, including often overlooked perks like HSAs and FSAs. Entrepreneurs, on the other hand, might prioritize reinvesting profits back into their business, where the potential returns could far exceed traditional market investments. Public sector employees have unique pension considerations that change their entire investment approach compared to private sector workers. These differences aren't trivial. They can mean hundreds of thousands of dollars in your retirement accounts. For instance, case studies show that individuals who align their financial priorities effectively can significantly improve their long-term wealth outcomes. Those who focus on maximizing employer-sponsored retirement contributions often achieve demonstrably better retirement readiness than those who prioritize other financial goals. Let's look at a specific example. Consider 2 professionals, both age 35, both earning $90,000 annually. Professional A spreads their attention across multiple financial goals simultaneously, contributing just enough to get their employer match, 6%, saving cash for a luxury car, paying extra on their mortgage, and starting a small investment account. Professional B uses the priority pyramid to identify their 3 highest impact moves, maximizing their 401k contribution, 18%, developing a specialized consulting side business based on their expertise, and optimizing their tax strategy through careful planning. After just 5 years, Professional B has accumulated about $120,000 more wealth than Professional A, not because they earned more or spent less, but because they focused on the highest leverage activities for their specific situation. The good news is that tools like financial planning software can help you assess your priorities by providing a comprehensive view of your current situation and projecting future scenarios based on different decisions. Our downloadable priority pyramid calculator, mentioned in the resources section, will help you identify your personal top 3 wealth multipliers, the specific moves that will create the biggest financial impact for your unique circumstances. What makes this approach so powerful is that it cuts through the noise of conflicting financial advice. Instead of trying to do everything at once, you focus exclusively on the 2 to 3 moves that will create the biggest wealth acceleration for your specific situation. Regularly reviewing and adjusting your financial priorities is also crucial, especially as life circumstances change. This includes reassessing goals related to education funding, home purchases, and retirement savings to ensure alignment with your current financial reality. Major life events like marriage, having children, or changing careers should trigger an immediate reprioritization of your financial focus. For most mid-career professionals, this reassessment should happen at least annually. Set a recurring calendar reminder to review your priority pyramid and make adjustments based on changes in your income, family situation, and financial goals. Wealth trajectory mapping, your million-dollar roadmap. Annual reviews are important, but have you ever actually mapped out what your financial future looks like on paper? Two professionals earning identical salaries can end up with $1 million difference in retirement savings based solely on the specific financial decisions they make during their 30s and 40s. While those yearly financial checkups help you stay on track, wealth trajectory mapping takes things to a whole new level by showing you exactly where your current decisions will lead. Think of it as your financial GPS, not just telling you where you are today, but revealing the precise path your wealth will follow over the next 20+ years if you stay on your current course. Wealth trajectory mapping isn't just about feeling good or panicking about your future. It's about seeing the concrete impact of your financial decisions in black and white. When you can visualize how much that extra 3% in retirement contributions or that side hustle will actually generate over 20 years, those decisions become much easier to make. Let me show you what this looks like in practice. Consider 3 potential wealth trajectories for someone currently 35 years old, making $90,000. Baseline, following average financial behaviors with minimal optimization. Moderately optimized, implementing 2 to 3 key strategies we've discussed. Fully optimized, applying all major wealth building strategies consistently. The differences are staggering. By age 55, the baseline trajectory might show a net worth of $450,000. The moderately optimized path, closer to $950,000, and the fully optimized approach could exceed $1.5 million, all starting from the exact same income. This isn't theoretical. We see these diverging paths play out with real professionals all the time. Take Michael, a software developer who implemented just 3 key strategies at age 36. Increasing his retirement contributions from 6% to 15%, developing a consulting side income that generated $1,000 monthly, and optimizing his tax situation with strategic Roth conversions during a short career break. By age 45, his net worth was tracking $380,000 higher than his baseline projection. Or consider Jennifer, a marketing director who focused on salary negotiation, investment diversification, and reducing childcare costs through creative arrangements with another family. These 3 moves alone put her on track for an additional $420,000 in wealth by her early 50s, compared to her original trajectory. Creating your own wealth trajectory map isn't complicated, but it does require gathering some key information. Here's a step-by-step process you can follow. First, establish your baseline by documenting your current financial position, including assets, debts, income sources, and regular savings amounts. This gives you your starting point. Next, identify your current trajectory by projecting these numbers forward using realistic growth assumptions. For investments, conservative estimates might use 6 to 7% annual returns, while more aggressive portfolios might project 8 to 9%. Then create alternative scenarios by modifying key variables based on potential financial moves. What happens if you increase your savings rate by 5%? What if you negotiate a 10% salary increase? What if you develop a side income that grows by $500 annually? Each of these creates a new potential trajectory. Finally, calculate the wealth gap between your baseline and optimized scenarios at 5, 10, and 20-year intervals. This makes the impact of your decisions crystal clear. The power of wealth trajectory mapping comes from identifying your personal wealth multipliers, the specific financial levers that will have the biggest impact on your unique situation. These multipliers vary dramatically based on your age, income level, and current financial position. For example, if you're a high-income earner in your mid-30s with minimal savings, your biggest wealth multiplier might be increasing your savings rate. Our calculation tool might show that increasing your savings from 6% to 15% could add $600,000 to your retirement nest egg. On the other hand, if you're 40 with a decent savings rate, but your investments are earning below market returns, your wealth multiplier might be optimizing your investment approach. Improving your returns by just 1.5% annually could translate to hundreds of thousands in additional wealth over 15 to 20 years. To help you benchmark your progress, median net worth for households headed by individuals aged 35 to 44 was approximately $236,000 in 2022, while those aged 45-54 had a median net worth of about $404,000. These figures illustrate the wealth accumulation that typically occurs during mid-career years, but they're just averages. With strategic planning, you can significantly outpace these benchmarks. Remember that wealth trajectory mapping isn't a one-time exercise. The real value comes from revisiting and adjusting your projections regularly. As your income, family situation, and financial goals evolve, so will your optimal financial strategies. The stark differences in retirement lifestyle these trajectories create can't be overstated. Consider two professionals who start with similar circumstances at 35, but follow different wealth trajectories. By 65, one might have $1.2 million, enough for a modest retirement with careful budgeting. The other might have $3 million, enabling a comfortable retirement with travel, hobbies, and the ability to help the next generation. This isn't just about money, it's about freedom, choices, and peace of mind. The optimized trajectory doesn't just mean more dollars, it means more options for how you live the second half of your life. Financial planning software can be incredibly helpful for this process, allowing you to create comprehensive plans that include savings targets, investment strategies, and risk management approaches. These tools make it possible to visualize multiple scenarios and understand the long-term impact of different choices. I encourage you to set aside time for an annual trajectory review where you reassess your financial path and identify adjustments needed to stay on course for your goals. Focus particular attention on your top 3 wealth multipliers. The specific levers that mathematical modeling shows will have the biggest impact on your long-term financial outcomes. During these reviews, ask yourself, are my financial priorities still aligned with my goals? Have any circumstances changed that require adjusting my strategy? Am I making consistent progress on my key wealth multipliers? This regular recalibration ensures you stay on your optimal trajectory. The most powerful aspect of wealth trajectory mapping is the clarity it provides. When you can see exactly where your current path leads, making good financial decisions becomes less about willpower and more about simple math. You're no longer making abstract choices. You're making concrete moves. It's not too late to change your trajectory. That clarity can be intimidating if you're in your 40s without substantial savings. But what if I told you those visible long-term consequences could still be incredibly positive? Despite what most financial gurus preach about starting in your 20s, a surprising number of millionaires actually began serious wealth building after 35, using specific acceleration strategies that most financial advice completely overlooks. Let's be honest. Looking at your financial trajectory when you're already 40 plus with minimal savings can trigger some serious anxiety. You've probably seen those charts showing how much more someone accumulates when they start at 25 versus 35. But here's what those charts don't show you: the power of focused financial intensity that becomes possible in midlife. The truth is, you have far more tools at your disposal now than you did a decade ago. At 40, you likely have career expertise, professional connections, and life experience that can be leveraged into accelerated wealth building that simply wasn't possible in your 20s. And critically, you still have 25 plus years before traditional retirement age, more than enough time for significant compound growth if you implement the right strategies. Let me share something surprising. Many of today's most financially successful individuals didn't get serious about wealth building until their late 30s or early 40s. They didn't have the luxury of decades of slow, steady investing. Instead, they used strategic acceleration approaches that compressed their timeline. These late starters typically focus on 3 high-impact areas: maximizing contributions to retirement accounts, developing additional income streams, and implementing aggressive debt reduction strategies. The combination creates a financial turnaround that can produce remarkable results within just 5 to 10 years. For instance, take the case of Elena, a university administrator who at 42 had barely $30,000 saved for retirement. Instead of giving up, she implemented an aggressive catch-up strategy. First, she maximized her contributions to her employer's retirement plan, including catch-up contributions. Then, she leveraged her expertise in educational policy to create a consulting side business working with local school districts. The additional $2,000 monthly income went directly into investment accounts, and within 7 years, her nest egg had grown to over $400,000. Or consider James, a 45-year-old marketing professional who realized he was significantly behind on retirement savings. Rather than panicking, he focused on what he could control. He negotiated a $15,000 salary increase by demonstrating his value with concrete metrics, then directed the entire raise to retirement accounts. Additionally, he reduced living expenses by 15% without affecting his quality of life and redirected those savings to investments. Within 5 years, his financial trajectory had completely transformed. What's fascinating about these examples is how quickly their financial situations improved once they applied focused effort. This contradicts the common belief that financial turnarounds require decades of disciplined action. In reality, concentrated effort in your 40s can yield significant results by your early 50s, still plenty of time before traditional retirement age. The key psychological hurdle for many late starters is overcoming what financial psychologists call temporal discounting, our tendency to value immediate gratification over future benefits. When you're already feeling behind, it's tempting to think, what's the point? This fatalistic thinking becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy that prevents meaningful action. To combat this mindset, focus on what behavioral economists call small wins, achieving modest financial goals that build momentum. Rather than fixating on the seemingly impossible task of saving $1 million, celebrate reaching your first $50,000, then $100,000. Each milestone builds psychological momentum that makes the next step easier. Another powerful mental shift is reframing how you view your time frame. Instead of seeing yourself as 10 to 15 years behind, recognize that you're entering your peak earning years with accumulated wisdom and experience. Your capacity to generate and invest money is likely higher now than ever before. This perspective shift allows you to implement what I call concentrated wealth building, the practice of directing significant resources toward financial goals in a compressed time frame. While someone in their 20s might reasonably save 10 to 15% of their income, someone playing catch-up in their 40s might temporarily direct 25 to 30% of their income toward investments. This isn't about permanent austerity, it's about recognizing your unique window of opportunity. Your peak earning years combined with potentially reduced expenses as children become more independent or mortgages decrease, create a powerful wealth-building moment that simply doesn't exist at other life stages. The math supports this approach. If you're 40 with $100,000 saved and can contribute $25,000 annually with a 7% return, you'll have approximately $1.65 million by age 65. That's significant wealth by any standard, despite the late start. For those feeling behind, consider implementing these specific acceleration strategies. First, maximize contributions to tax-advantaged accounts. Beyond standard retirement plans, investigate whether you're eligible for a health savings account, which offers triple tax advantages and can function as a stealth retirement account after age 65. Second, leverage your professional expertise to create additional income. The fastest way to catch up isn't cutting expenses, it's increasing income. Your decades of work experience can often be monetized through consulting, freelancing, or creating knowledge products without disrupting your primary career. Third, implement a diversified investment approach that balances growth potential with risk management. While you need growth, you also have less time to recover from significant market downturns. A professionally designed portfolio can help navigate this balance. Fourth, use financial planning software to objectively assess your situation and track progress. Many mid-career professionals discover they're actually in better shape than they feared once they've properly analyzed their complete financial picture. What's particularly encouraging about financial catch-up is how quickly momentum builds. The progression isn't linear, it's exponential. Your first $100,000 might take several years of disciplined effort, But the next $100,000 typically comes much faster as your investments begin generating meaningful returns and your savings habits become ingrained. The psychological rewards of this progress create a virtuous cycle. As you see tangible results from your efforts, your motivation increases, making it easier to maintain your financial focus. What started as an intimidating catch-up process transforms into an empowering journey of financial mastery. Remember that wealth building isn't a competition or a race. The only meaningful comparison is between where you are today and where you could be in 5 or 10 years if you implement these strategies consistently. The financial trajectory you're on isn't fixed. It's entirely within your power to alter it through focused action. And here we are at the finish line. What we've learned throughout this journey is that the critical wealth decade between 30 and 45 isn't just some arbitrary time frame. It's the period where financial decisions compound dramatically, creating either opportunity or limitation for decades to come. Financial experts consistently point out that decisions made during this crucial period significantly influence long-term financial health and retirement lifestyle. The beauty here is that these wealth gaps aren't predetermined by fate or luck. They're created through specific, identifiable choices that you can influence starting today. Your assignment is clear. Make these next 10 years count. Focus your energy on the highest impact areas we've covered: optimizing your income, building additional revenue streams, strategic investing, smart family planning, and tax efficiency. These aren't just nice-to-have financial habits. They're the fundamental differentiators between financial freedom and limitation. Before you close this video, download our free Critical Wealth Decade Calculator. It'll help you map your personal wealth trajectory and identify the 3 specific multipliers that will create the biggest impact for your unique situation. Your future self